Welcome back to the channel. Time for another puzzle with Sudoku Sleuth, and we have a fantastic looking puzzle today. I hope you've enjoyed the last couple of videos that we posted, in particular the explanation video. Do let me know if it's something that you would like to see more of a content here on the channel or not. And with that said, let's take a look at today's puzzle. So, we've got High-Rise Window Washer by Willpower for today. And you can easily see the window washer here with the squidgy, clearly some sort of a window. And the cage as well is actually just the glass through that they're cleaning, presumably. And their tool, wherever they're hanging from, you can see the cables of it just holding up the platform that they're standing on. Phenomenal. Really, really pretty looking puzzle by Willpower. Brave souls actually do take this job up. I can't imagine hanging there all the time, many, many floors up, nothing beneath me, just washing windows. Anyway, as many of you know on this channel, we are often solving Sudoku variants. So they are typically puzzles that have almost no digits in the grid, although thankfully today Willpower has actually shared with us a massive number of digits, 4 to help us get started today. But with a name like Willpower, I wasn't expecting too many digits, and I'm glad we have 4 to get us started, because I wouldn't know where to begin when it's something that looks like this. Now, different colored lines, which I'm hoping the rules that we have for today will explain. So let's take a look at those. Normal Sudoku rules apply. We know what this is. You need to place the digits 1 to 9 in every row, in every column, and in every box. Numbers on the green line are at least 5 apart from their neighbors on the line. We are very familiar with these on the channel, typically called German whispers lines, and you end up with them oscillating between high digits, low digits, and high digits, around the 5. No 5s on the green line here. Numbers do not repeat on the green line. Not hugely helpful other than just this one cell that doesn't see these two. So we know whatever this cell is, it is going to be unique. Although to be fair, yeah, they are of the same parity, these 3. So yes, may actually prove to be helpful later on. Now, the red line are at least 4 apart from their neighbors on the line. This is probably new to the channel, and I believe they're normally called Dutch lines, where you can essentially have 5s on here because they're only 4 apart. So you can do 1, 5, 9, essentially jumping to a middle digit between a low and a high. That's quite unique to them, and they force you to think about them a little bit differently. We also have numbers on purple lines are each a set of non-repeating consecutive numbers. So these are not palindromes, but I guess Remban lines is something that we may have seen on the channel as well before. And we clearly need to think about something that starts with a 1. That's going to be fairly obvious what the remaining digits are on there. Lastly, we have a killer cage here, 7, and we need to have 2 digits that sum up to 7 in this particular order, in this particular cells. That's all the rules we have for today. So if you wish to play along, there'll be a link in the description down below as usual. And with that said, let's restart the clock and see how we get on with today's puzzle. Now, I did say, as I was explaining the rules, this is pretty obvious. We can place, for this to be consecutive, clearly it needs a 2, 3, 4, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 as well in here. So this is the only way we're going to be able to do that. Now, I'm also looking at this one here. So this is either 6, 7, 8 or 7, 8, 9, which means this is 6, 9, and we know we need to have a 7, 8 up here, although this is not an 8. 1 here is very helpful. In fact, 1 and 2 down here tells us this is not the 2 there. This has to be a 2. This is a 3, 4 pair. And I think that example down here on this Dutch line of 1, 5, 9 may prove to be the only way we can do this. But we'll take a look at a second. Let's just get started with the German whispers line. So I'm just going to color high digits red, low digits blue, and think about what these may be. And interestingly, these blue and this one, despite the fact they don't all see each other, have to be all different. So we know they're from 1, 2, 3, and 4, except a 4 cannot be adjacent to an 8 because it's only 4 away from an 8. And the rules on a German whispers line is it has to be at least 5 away. So that's got to be the 4. That tells us this is a 3. That's the 4. 5 away means this has to be the 9. And these are 1, 2, and 3. This 2 tells us this is the 2. This 3 tells us this is the 3. This is the 1. And I guess the uniqueness meant that we can actually solve the entirety of this German whispers in one go. Let's take a look at now this Rembine line. So I don't think you can put a 9 on here. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's not going to work. That's got to be a 6. Therefore, this is made up of 7, 8, and 9, although we've already said this can't be an 8. This 9 now that we've added since then tells us this is not a 9. So on here, we need a 5 for sure, which means this is not a 5 because it can see all of these lines. We could have a 3, but only down there. And if it's not a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's from, we can also have 7 or 8. And 5 and 7 are definitely on this line. I don't know if I need to corner pencil mark it. I think I can just remember that. I'm going to interpret this Rembrandt line as it sees it all. I think that this is all one set of, one Rembrandt line, which is composed of, 4, 5, 6 digits. So if there is a 1, it can only be in here. There has to be a 3. So if there isn't a 1, it's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I'm just going to put all of these in. Just think about this a bit further. So the 3 and the 4 are not in here. Three, 4, 5, and 6. It's not very helpful. Right, so taking a look at this Dutch line, this is clearly not 3 or 4. This is from 5 or 6. Now, I'm fairly certain that, let's think about the example of this is 6 for a second. Now, we need to put a digit in here that's at least 4 away from 6. Now, 6 plus 4 is 10, so it's clearly not going to be 10. Minus 4 is either 1 or 2, and both are taken in a row. So this absolutely has to be the 5. This has to go up to 9 to be able to come back down to 2. Again, 4 away would put us either to 1 or 9. It can't be with anything else. That's a 9. The 5 is now sorted for this Rembrandt line. So we're left with 3, 4, 6, and 1 as an option. And this is 3 and 4 for sure, although it doesn't eliminate anything from this cell. And let's continue with this line for now. So this has to be high from 6, 7, or 8. We have 8 at the top of the column, so it's from 6 or 7. This would have to be low. And the highest I should say this can be is if this is a 7 and it's 4 away, this is either 3 or 1, and it's not 3. So it is 1, making both options of 6 and 7 valid. More importantly, no 1s in here. I don't think I penciled marked this Rembrandt line correctly. So if there's no 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we need a 7 as well in here. And thankfully that means this is at least helping this somewhat. There is no 7 in there. So 6 and 7, this 6 tells us this is the 7. These are not 7. This is the 7, therefore on this Rembrandt line, that's not 7. And if you remember, I said this line has to be made up of 5 and 7 for sure, because the lowest digits we can put on this line is fact, actually, not just a 3. We could have put a 2 on there. Let me just think this through. So, 1... So the cells... So because of the 1 and 2s that we have in there, we can't have a 1. Despite it being possible in there, we can't put then a 2 to join the rest. So there is no 1, but there could be a 2, there could be a 3. Now, if it is a 2, we have the same challenge as we did with the 1. If this is a 2, 3 would have to be repeated in here alongside this box. So in fact, absolutely, there is no 2. This is from 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we don't have the 7, 7, and 8. Now in any scenario, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we absolutely have to have a 7. So this is a 7 joined with a 5, 8 because we cannot go as low as 3. So I hope that's all correct at this point. This leaves us with the only place for a 7 is up here, joined with a 5, 6 pair by the looks of things. And therefore this is the 8, this is the 5. Let's continue down there. This has to be a low digit. That's 4 away. 1 and 2 are gone. So that's 3. Force 3, I should say. This could be 5 or higher. There's quite a few options in there that I'm just going to put in regardless. Certainly not 0. This has to be 4 away, so it's 7 or higher. 7 and 9 are gone, so the 8 is forced. This has to be an 8. This is not 8. This has to be low. So 4 away means it's 4 or lower. The 1 and the 3 means this is only from the options of 2 and 4. Now this means this can no longer be a 5 because you can clearly see that it wouldn't be 4 away from either 2 or 4. So it can't be 5. It could be 7 because that can be a 2 and that's far enough away. Now whatever this cell is also on this Rembrandt line, as is quite a bit of column 8. Pretty much all of it is on a Rembrandt line except for this digit and this cell. The fact that this is an 8, we should ask ourselves the question, where can the 9 go? And if I put it anywhere on a Rembrandt line, it's going to require a second 8 to be able to join us. So even on this shorter Rembrandt line of 3 cells, if I put myself a 9 in here, I will need an 8 and a 7, and the 8 will repeat. So 9 has to be up here. There is no other place for it, which is helpful. This is a 7, this is an 8, this is a 9. And now we're left with, we're breaking down essentially these 7-celled Rembrandt lines into 2 groups. And somehow in the middle they're gonna, so essentially we've got, it's either 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, and 7, or 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 1, 2, and 3. These are the only options that we have available. Now, in any scenario, the 4 is down here. I'm not sure this is helpful. Let's take a look at this 7. So 1, 3, 4, and 6. So this could be from 2 or 5. I don't think there's really any other option that's left that's less than 7. And if this is 2 or 5, that's got to be 2 or 5. So if this is, this can still be 5, 6, or 7. This can still be 1, 2, and 3. And therefore this could be in any order really, we don't know. Although this 2, 5 tells us for sure that the 4 is down here. Therefore that's a 3, that's a 4. There are no 4s here. There's no 3 here. 4 has to be up here. The 5, I should have spotted this earlier, tells us that this is a 2, 5, and it's a 6, 7 up here to complete this Rembrandt line. These 7s tell us the 7 is here with a 6. 5 is 6. This is from 1 and 3. We don't have any clues that tell us which order they're in just yet. I think we're very nearly completed all the clues at this point, and we're going to have to do a bit of Sudoku in a moment. Just before I do that, I just want to take a look once more to see if I can complete any of it. It really doesn't seem like I can. So Sudoku it is. So fives, let's take a look at these boxes. They're very nearly complete. We've got 5 and 8 we need to place in here, so that's obvious because of this 5. We need to place 2, which is not in there, not in here. 2, 6 and 9, and that's 6 tells us the 6 is in here, and indeed this 9 tells us the 9 is down there. So that's the 3 middle or central boxes completed. What else can we do now? Top row looks very nearly done. We need to still place 3, 4, and 5 by the looks of things. And there isn't really any clue to tell us where they go, other than this is not a 5. All the other digits seem to be valid. Let's take a look at this row now. Let's take a look at 6s in fact. Is there anything that really intersects? Not really. It's okay, let's just keep going. So we need 1, 2, 4, and 8. These are not 8. 8 has to be in here. These are not 2. 2 has to be in here. And really, we don't seem to have much to help us differentiate just yet. What about this bottom row? That's a lot more complete. So we need 4 and 6. This 4 tells us the 6 is in here. Sorry, I should say the 4 is in here and the 6 is in there. This 4 tells us there are no 4s on this side. To complete this row, we need 1, 3, 5, and 6. No 6 in here. This is really not interesting. I don't feel like I'm really making any material progress here. That's not a 5. 5s are in here. Oh yeah, this 5 tells us this is a 2. That was probably there for a while, and I'm sure many of you were just looking at your screen in frustration thinking, what am I doing? So the 5 here tells us this is a 3. That's a 1. That's a 3. Neither of these are a 3. That's a 4. That's a 5. That's much better now. Not sure why I was going around the long way to solving this puzzle. Let's take a look at this row now, which is nearing completion. We still need a 1, a 3, the 3 in here tells us it's got to be in this box. So no 3s, and we still need a 9 by the looks of things. We don't know the order of those. Don't really seem to be able to do much on the column side in general. So it's interesting to see that it does still finish from here. So this 5, we know the 5 has, these two 5s really tell us the 5 has to be in here. It's probably been out there a while as well. No 5s, therefore a 5, therefore another 5, and not a 5 in here. 3, 4 pair looks correct. The 2 has to be in here. 6 has to be in there. All of that looks in order at this point. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4s is here. 5 is done. 6 is here. Disambiguating the 4s, which is 3, 4, not 4, not 1, because we've got a 1, 2. This has to be the 1. These are not 1. This is from 3 and 6. This 3 tells us this is the 6. The 3, nothing yet here to break this. This 4 Tells us this is the 8. 4. Probably should have just been paying attention to my pencil marks, really. It seems to be unwinding very quickly now. And comes to a pause, a crashing halt almost as soon as I say that. So that's the 2. That's the 7 and 9. We still need a 7 and 8 in here. This 7 and 9 tells us the 7 has got to be in here. 8 is in there. Joint with a 2 and 9. And we don't know the order of those, surprisingly, in there. And joint with a 1 and 8. And we also don't know the order of these. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We still need to place a 6. So this 6 tells us it's on this side. This 6 tells us it's in here. We need a 7. This is a 7 or 9. 7 is only up here. 8. Lots of valid positions still. 8. And then finally 9. Well, we know at least a 9 has to be in here. Do we? No. Have I missed a clue somewhere that just... Because there's just a bunch of patterns in here that just look incredibly difficult to unwind. Either I've missed a clue or I've made an error. So 1, 2, 8, and 9. So the 8s, the 9s, the 2s, the 1s, all looks in order. So we're only left really with this 7. Of course, there we go. This has to be 4 away. That's not a 7. That's to be a 9. That's the 7. And that's probably enough to help us solve the rest of this puzzle. And if I've not made any mistake, that's the solution for today's puzzle. High-rise window washer by Willpower. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have. I always enjoy a grid that tells a bit of a story in here. Definitely a window washer that's very obvious with their squeegee as well. You know, washing a window as well. Just incredible detail from Willpower. So thank you so much for constructing it for us. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you back for the next one. Bye for now.